this is really difficult. A, because we're used to talking all the time.
Usually during commercial breaks.
Yes, and I did put that, I put that on Twitter, by the way, Paul, about our shenanigans and what we do during commercial breaks. But I've never interviewed Paul before.
No, we've never done that.
Formally. You have something really important that you want to talk about. You're
Sure.
retiring.
I am retiring.
Yes.
Yes.
And you've been away for a while.
I have been away, and if viewers have been wondering where I've been, that's something that's very important to me.
Okay.
I've gone through treatment for alcoholism. And, you know, thanks to having a great family, not only my immediate family, but my extended family, all my brothers and my sister, and having great friends, I got help.
That's wonderful.
And I needed help. I just reached that point in life where I had to reach out and get help. And I've got all the support, and that's where I've been. I went through treatment and doing what I can to learn more about myself and maintain my sobriety.
We talked about a lot of things over the years that we've known each other.
Sure.
13 years, we've worked together 7 years. And that was one of those things, because my family, I shared a lot with you about my family as well.
Right.
Why do you feel it's important, Paul, to talk about it?
Well, I think because I think a lot of people have questions. Where was Paul? You know, I mean, I've heard everything. You know, are you
So have
okay?
I.
Yeah, have you?
Trust me,
Yeah.
oh yes.
You know, did you have surgery? Do you have cancer? Do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have that? No, and in fact, I'm an alcoholic.
But you want to share this
Yeah,
with people because
I want to share to get it out there, just to let people know, first of all, where I was, and also I just want to let people know that if you're in a similar situation to me, I needed help, and yet I couldn't reach out and ask for help, and I knew I needed help. I mean, I would sit and cry, asking God to help me, and yet I couldn't pick up the phone. And I finally got help from, as I said, from friends and family. And if you're out there and you're suffering with whatever the addiction is, there is help out there. And all you have to do is just speak to someone, speak to one person, and that one person may be able to reach out and give you a hand and lift you up and help you.
So how's it going?
Great, it's going great.
You look great.
Thanks, I appreciate that. You know, I feel great. I feel absolutely wonderful. I
You
really
look
do.
absolutely
Thanks,
wonderful.
thanks.
And I personally miss that smile.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks.
Obviously, and the wit and everything else that goes with it. Well, then let's talk about, wait, we didn't get to why you wanted to retire. We know why you're gone, why you've been missed, but now you've reached a decision that you want to move on with your life.
I have.
Okay.
And there's not much that you and I haven't shared.
Right.
For those of you at home, we've shared virtually everything. I mean, you stop and think about it. You and I are together more than you're with your spouse and more than I'm with my spouse. And, you know,
Yes.
pretty close proximity. First of all, in the newsroom, we sit near each other, very
Right.
close to each other. And then on that set, we're shoulder to shoulder. And it's been a long time that we've been doing that. And during commercial breaks, we talk before. You and I are always out here way before a newscast. We talk at night. We talk all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I've shared everything with you and vice versa. And you of all people know that for a while now, I've been wanting to retire.
Yeah, we talked about it.
And prior to even going into treatment, I'd given it very strong consideration. And once I came out of treatment, obviously I had reached the conclusion that not only is it good for me, it's what I want to do. You know, I'm still fairly young.
Yes, you are,
I'm fairly healthy.
because we're the same age. You
Yeah.
are really young, Paul.
It's true.
You
So are
look
you.
great again. I keep saying that.
And fairly healthy, and there are a lot of things that I still want to do. There are a lot of places that I haven't seen, and
You love traveling. I know that.
I love traveling, and
You and
thanks to
Kathy.
God, I'm in a position where my wife and I will be able to do that. And I know I'm not just going to carry my suitcase. You know, I've got to carry hers. So,
Of course.
Of course. And
Those
so,
are the
you know,
rules.
I'm
You know that.
still in reasonable health where we can go on trips and catch trains and catch planes and do whatever it is we have to do.
And enjoy your life.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, so many people wait for so long to retire, and there are no guarantees. God doesn't tell you that, you know, hey, you've got until the age of 83, 85, 86, 88, for that matter, 70.
So you know when it's time.
Yeah, it's my time, and
Okay.
it's my time to go do some different things and enjoy things, and I'm really excited about that.
Well, before you go off and do that, though, we've got to cover, if we can, 38 years of you being a journalist and an anchor.
Long time.
The stories are just amazing. And you know what? We've also shared the conversation, Paul, about why we got into this business and why we were still working. It wasn't to sit out there on TV every day and say, "Hi, I'm Paul Majors and I'm Pat Harvey."
Right.
It was the people you meet along the way, the stories that you tell, and if you can help another soul, that's what gives you the satisfaction.
It does.
You got a long list. The first one, I'm going to talk about the time that we first anchored live coverage, and I think we were on the air, you said 9 hours?
9 hours.
The Metrolink train crash.
In Moore Park,
Yes,
which killed a lot of people.
it did. It did, but
Injured a lot of people.
it took the fortitude and the personality and ability to approach something like that, not only with professionalism, but we were pretty emotional, but
We
you know,
both were.
we got through it.
I remember this. Do you recall this? That when, because we were first on the scene.
Yes.
Sky 2 was first on the scene as it approached that mangled wreckage. Do you recall that we didn't understand what we were looking at?
No.
We didn't
because
know what that was.
We didn't know that there were bodies underneath that train car.
We couldn't figure out, wait, there's a train in that somewhere? Remember how dramatic that was?
Yes, I do. I do.
And we were on the air for 9 hours. You did an excellent job, and you always make
Did
me
you?
look better.
Thank you. And you make me look better.
No, seriously.
I mean that too.
You're
Come
easy to
on.
work with. You're a joy to work with.
Well, they call us Peaches and Herb. They do that for a reason. Some people have heard us sing.
That's a little old school for some people out
Well,
there.
okay. Look it up, young people.
Yeah. Google it.
But some of the other wonderful stories, the women of Julia.
Julia? Yeah.
Julia.
Yeah, the necklace?
I want to call them Julia.
Yeah,
Julia.
Julia. Yeah.
They loved you. I mean,
Yeah.
you talked to them 3 different times.
Yeah, great women. Yeah. For those who don't know, they acquired a necklace, and one woman didn't want to own that expensive of a necklace, so she started a group where they would each wear it, and they formed this group, and it became the foundation for charitable works.
Yeah. It was
Around
such a sweet
a
story.
very expensive necklace.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so well told.
Oh yeah, they're great.
we-
Great women. Yeah.
That's the persona. Okay, something that was really funny that I know you enjoyed because you talked about it forever. The Kings of Comedy. Mm-hmm. How about that? Having lunch with those guys?
They were hilarious.
And they
and it-
thought you were too.
Well, the interesting thing about it, these are notable people who write comedy, produce comedy, did comedy, and walking in there and sitting at that table was one of those deals which I find myself doing often in life. I don't think I said anything because we mic'd them all up, and it was just a matter of sitting there and listening. In the course of an hour and a half or 2 hours, I maybe asked 6 or 7 questions, I believe,
You told
because
me
it was
that.
so fascinating to listen to them. The way they partake of each other's conversations, their observations, because they've done so much. There's such a breadth and depth of interesting information
Right.
and comedy in all of them. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
He got a few one-liners
I
in
did.
though,
I borrowed
right?
some
They
from them,
enjoyed
yes,
that.
yeah. I got a few one-liners in, yeah. But
Well, instead of me going through the list, give me some stories that you can think of that really,
I'll tell you one that happened early on in my career.
okay.
Way early on, 1980, May of 1980, and that was the eruption of Mount St. Helens. I was there for that. I mean, I saw it.
And you felt it.
Oh yeah, and covered it once it happened. Covered it prior to, but once it happened, of course, the coverage was 24/7. And I remember thinking to myself, "This is so huge. I wonder if, in my career, because that was very early on in my career, I'll ever have a story this big." And I remember thinking that at the moment where in a helicopter we came over this one mountain. I mean, we could see it from far away, right? Mm-hmm. But we came over this one mountain, rose up over in the helicopter, and then turned the helicopter broadside to the volcano itself. And we could see everything, the mountain coming up, we could see that rising up, the ash, the smoke. And that's when I said to myself, holy Moses.
Something to behold.
Oh my, seriously. And I thought, will I ever cover a story this big for the rest of my life?
Well,
And there were other stories that were as interesting.
but that certainly. 1980. Fast forward. I know you love Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, very much.
And then you interviewed her
Yeah,
not too long ago.
Not too long ago. Got to go to her house, spend the day at her house. Very charming person. and very gracious as well, in spite of being in a lot of physical pain.
Yeah, you
Her
told me
back,
that.
yeah, her back is very bad. And a couple times we had to take a break where she went to lay down and rest for a while. And like you, I went ahead and snooped. I did. I went into the library and,
Oh my God.
you know, I was trying to figure out, is she currently reading this, and I'm looking at all the books, figuring out why does she like this genre, why does she like that, what.
Tells
you
a
know.
lot about a person.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you can learn a lot.
Yeah,
so.
and I know you love books.
I do love
He
books.
loves books.
Yep,
We
love
talk
to
about
read.
that a lot.
Yeah,
So
love to read.
who am I going to bring books to now or give a...
Just email them to me.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll give you a book card. No, you got to come back and take me to dinner.
All right, I will.
We were talking about
You
we're going to
get
be
that,
getting
yeah.
together. There's another story that you did that you were so moved by this. It was a story involving a transgender teen
Oh, gosh.
and the conversation with their parents about the love they had for this child. And that really touched you.
Yeah, it did. He's a student here in Southern California. She, I should say. But his honesty and his openness really touched me. It's one of those deals where, you know how we're always pressed for time.
Mm-hmm.
And you might go interview somebody, as you well know, and you're expecting the interview to last 20 minutes to 35 minutes. And in some cases, as you know, that's a long interview. I sat and interviewed him, I think for an hour and 40 minutes,
That's what I heard.
and didn't realize that an hour and 40 minutes had gone by, because the information being shared was so interesting. He very mature for his age, obviously had gone through a lot in his life, and was just a fascinating young man.
And you like to talk to people and you like to hear people's stories. I know how intrigued you are by that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
And
do.
for something like that, for you to want to spend that kind of time, that also meant to me that you learned something.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another thing about you. You have this insatiable desire still to learn.
I do.
You know, to
yeah,
listen.
That's why I like to read so much.
And to discover.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember you talking about that, and I just remember even your voice when you were tracking that story, just how you felt about that. You also did a story about these children that had suffering brain tumors.
Yeah, boy,
in
you
a
know
commu-
more about what I did than I recall what I did.
I pay attention. I pay attention. But there was another story that was,
Yeah, cancer issues.
yes,
Yeah,
and you felt that too.
yeah, the Rocketdyne area.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that was sad talking to those parents, because they're firmly convinced that living near that is the primary cause of the incidence of cancer in their area, geographical area. And, you know, those people have to not only deal with that, but they have to struggle to get recognition for what they believe is the cause of it, which means it needs to be cleaned up, which means
Correct.
people need help, they need assistance. Those stories are always tough. But, you know, you and I feel this, we're like two peas in a pod. Because when we see a story that's positive, you and I look at each other during those stories,
We do.
and we smile at each other.
Yes, we do.
And the first thing, when we see positive stories where someone's doing something to make a difference, where it's an uplifting story about whether it's a child, a teen, or a senior, or anyone, we'll hit those commercial breaks, and you know dang well that you and I both look at each other and just go, yeah, and that makes our day. I know it makes your day.
Yes.
And it makes my day.
It does.
Think about how many times you and I have ended the newscast by saying, what a great way to end the newscast.
We have.
Yeah.
And it's always on a story that means something.
Exactly.
And we always want to leave
Yeah.
the viewers with something
Even
and let
better,
them into what we feel, because they don't know that. They sit
Because
there and listen to
there's
us,
enough
right?
of,
All the bad stuff.
Exactly.
And boy, we talk about that all the time.
it's just nice to put an ingredient into the salad that
That's what
makes
I'm
it
gonna
taste a little
miss.
better, yeah.
That's what so many people are going to miss. You said that you and Kathy and Emily and Anna, oh, just beautiful, lovely girls. You're still going to do some traveling. That's what you want to do.
Yeah,
see
yeah.
some things you haven't seen.
Yep.
Is there anything else in the future, Paul, that you think you might want to get involved in?
Yeah, you know, obviously you just can't spend your time reading and traveling. I've come to the conclusion in my life too that that I need something meaningful for me personally, and that's some sort of work with some charitable organization. Haven't quite
good.
figured out what that is, and I'm going to take my time about it, because once I commit to it, I'm going to commit, And so I've got to believe in whatever that institution or organization will be. But I've got to do something literally involving service to others.
If you start something, let me know. You know I'll help
Sure.
you out.
I know you are a good volunteer.
All right? You know
You
I'll
are,
do
I
that.
know that. Seriously.
You got to say something to the viewers. Paul, there have been so many people, as we talked about in the beginning, that have written, texted, tweeted you. You're not on Facebook, I am. Oh boy, one of these days I think I might photocopy all the messages that I got from people. Nice messages, but just so concerned and wondered
nice.
where you were.
That's
And what really did my heart, it is how much they loved you, they enjoy watching you. And then the people that said, we like watching you guys together.
yeah, we're a team,
We
yeah.
like your banter.
Yeah, we're a team.
So you want to address them directly?
You know, I would just say thank you for letting you and me come into their homes, you know, at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. Yeah, it's not an individual thing what we do here. It is a team thing. And, you know, I think you and I gave it our honest shot every day that we were out here. I think we tried our best. I know that for sure. I don't think. I know we tried our best.
We did.
Maybe some days our best wasn't good enough. But we tried. And
That's a song.
yeah, we cared.
We did.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
And I think we worked very well together, and I really mean that. And I've told you that 1,000 times. It's for the viewers at home. I have told you that 1,000 times, how much I appreciate working with you, because it's been a joy. And it's, I mean, if I have to end a career at some point in time, I'm glad I ended it with you here.
You don't know how that makes me feel, because it has been one heck of a ride.
Yeah, it's been fun.
And it's been a great ride,
Yeah.
because we have been able to make each other laugh.
Think about how much we've laughed.
Oh my God, have we laughed?
I know.
And you know, a lot of times on the air,
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
how many times did they have to come and redo the makeup because you had me going and I couldn't stop? Those are the things that I will remember.
Same here.
And of course, I still consider you a friend, so I assume I'm going to be seeing you still,
Oh, I hope so.
just not on the air together.
Yeah, I'm not going into like a witness protection program.
No. Well, that's another conversation.
Not yet, yeah.
So, good on you.
Thank you.
And,
I appreciate that. I love you. Oops.
Love you.
Knock over the set. I love you too.